Are you a U.S. military member and a U.S. citizen, but your spouse is undocumented in the United States? This video is for you. My name is Ashley, and I'm an immigration attorney. I only practice immigration law. What I want to talk to you about today is a program that's called Parole in Place. This is a program that might help your spouse to obtain their green card through you without them having to leave the United States. Why is this so important? Because if your spouse entered the United States unlawfully, that's to say they do not have any proof that they came here with a visa, normally the process for them to obtain their green card through marriage is much more difficult, and in some cases, it's not possible. However, if your spouse came here unlawfully just one time and they've been here the entire time, they've never left the United States, and you're in the US military, they may qualify for parole in place. What parole in place does is it grants them a document called an I-94 that tells immigration that they are lawfully in the United States. So by being granted the I-194, they are being treated as though they came to the United States legally. This in turn makes it possible for them to file for their green card based on marriage to you without having to depart the United States. How do you apply for parole in place? It's applied for on Form I-131, along with other supporting documentation. That supporting documentation includes proof of your marriage, so your marriage certificate. It includes proof of your membership in the U.S. military. If you're a veteran, that also works as well. It's not a requirement that you be on active duty in the military. You also would want to provide proof that your spouse did not have any kind of visa that allowed them to come to the United States. Sometimes this is done with a declaration from your spouse, a short declaration that explains when they came to the United States, how they came here, where they came, more or less, things like that. You also want to provide any kind of documents you have that show why your spouse deserves to have parole in place. And this is because parole in place is a discretionary program. That means that even though your spouse might qualify to ask for parole in place, it does not necessarily mean that they're guaranteed to be granted parole in place. It's a discretionary benefit, which means that immigration reviews every case on a case-by-case basis, looking at the specific evidence that you provide. So examples of documents that could show immigration why your spouse deserves to have parole in place could be, for example, proof that they don't have any criminal record, perhaps the results of an FBI background check showing that they have no criminal record. It could be proof of their ties to the U.S. community. So if they're attending church, for example, or maybe they are involved in some kind of volunteer group. Are they paying taxes? Are they taking care of anybody in the U.S.? Things of that sort. There's other examples as well, but generally you would want to provide whatever you can think of to show immigration why your spouse deserves it. Another example would be letters of support from people who know your spouse, and who can talk about what kind of person he or she is. You also want to provide any type of proof of awards that you might have received while you've been in the military, or if you are receiving your education in the U.S. military, you could provide proof of that as well. So once this is filed, immigration will decide whether to approve the parole in place. If parole in place is granted to your spouse, they will be given an I-94 document that again means that they are treated as though they have legally entered the United States. And thereafter, in most cases, not every case, but in most cases, if your spouse just has that one unlawful entry, which is now cured with the parole in place, they can then proceed with filing for their green card. There are other requirements in the green card application process. So it's very important to speak to an immigration attorney before proceeding with the green card application. So that's a general overview of parole in place if you're married to somebody who does not have legal status and you are a member of the U.S. military. If you have any questions about your case, please feel free to call and set up a consultation with me. The number is 760-812-3778, and I look forward to the opportunity to help you.